An immediate ban has been imposed on the import of 9 fish species from the West Coast North Island inshore trawl and set net fisheries and includes snapper, tarakihi, gurnard and hoki. The ban was issued by the United States Court of International Trade. Controversial conservation group Sea Shepherd filed the proceedings to protect endangered Māui dolphin habitats under the US Marine Mammal Protection Act. Sea Shepherd Managing Director Michael Lawry is with us now. Kia ora, Michael. Thanks for joining us.
Yeah, kia ora, Neil. Thank you for having us.
Now, what are you hoping this ban will signal to the fishing industry as a whole?
Well, the fishing industry just hasn't been listening, essentially, for the last 20 years around this issue. But we're hoping if we hit them in the bottom line, maybe they will start listening. Otherwise, we're sending a strong signal to the government that we need tighter regulatory control over the fishing and to remove industrial trawling from their habitat.
This is a huge statement, right? So what other measures has Sea Shepherd taken to combat this issue?
Well, everyone's been a little bit limited, and it's not just Sea Shepherd in Aotearoa, it's other NGOs as well. We've been trying strategies since the 80s. You know, we've done marches, we've done petitions, we've done submissions, with little effect. I mean, sure, there's been some better protection since about 2008, but not enough. Not enough to the point that it's not just the US Court of International Trade that is siding with us. The IWC and the IUCN have been asking for over 10 years to stop industrial trawling, commercial fishing in the Māui habitat.
Michael, why do you feel you haven't been listened to?
I think the fishing industry is just too powerful, and you can compare it to Australia. We've got the 4th biggest EEZ in the world. Over 90% of our fish goes overseas. They're very, very powerful, and I think they almost sometimes it feels like to many of us they're a law unto themselves.
So how effective do you feel this ban will be in protecting the Māui dolphin habitat?
Yeah, it's a bit of a tough question, that one, Neil. We're hoping it will influence the fishing industry, and we're hoping it will influence the government. But essentially, what they could do to get around the ban is to sell the fish elsewhere, right? So we're hoping that it affects their brand, it affects their bottom line, and maybe if they really want to be seen as the world's leading, sustainable fisheries, because they, often Aotearoa is pimped out as that, it's this green haven, with this wild caught fish. And we know we've got problems with our marine mammals, not just the Māui dolphin. And so we really need some tighter controls, and we need to be taking a lot more care with our indigenous marine mammals.
Michael, I know that you, Sea Shepherd, and many others are really passionate in this space. Why is this kaupapa so important to you, and who is Sea Shepherd partnering with to help drive your intentions?
Kaupapa is important to us because the world not only has a climate change crisis, it has a biodiversity crisis. So we've got, hundreds of species in Aotearoa that are threatened, endangered, and we need to do a lot more to be looking after them. Partnering, as far as partnering goes, we get along pretty well by ourselves. We have some support from other NGOs, and it's pleasing to see them coming out and congratulate us on our win. Greenpeace did this recently, and that's pretty cool. So, but we've got some ideas, other ideas as well to help protect Māui dolphin. We're about to launch a new small patrol vessel in the area that will help monitor the population. And also to see if we can, to make sure there's no illegal fishing in the area.
And how do you respond to the seafood industry, who are obviously not happy with potentially millions of dollars of lost revenue? They're already restricted in these places. They have to carry cameras on their vessels, and this could potentially impact their livelihoods. How do you respond to them?
Yeah, it's a tricky one. Sometimes this case, I'm a New Zealander. I thought it's a little bit brutal, but it's not as brutal as extinction. And, we've got 54 of these dolphins left, and I think we really need to pull our head in, the industry and the government, to do better to protect them.
And how long do you expect to see this ban remain in place?
the justice of the wheels can move quite slowly. We've been on this case for 3 years. It could potentially, this is a preliminary injunction, so it's still yet to go to court, and that might take another year or so. It's up to the US government when that happens. I think this temporary ban will be, I'm guessing, will be at least another year, could be longer, and then of course if we win the final court case, then it's a permanent ban. I think one of the pleasing things we've seen is that it's not just a win for Māui Dolphin, but it's also a win for independent science, and that's what the court recognised, that our science was just better. So we're quite confident, even with a full court case, we have a really good chance of winning that as well.
Beautiful. Michael Lawry from Sea Shepherd, thank you so much for joining us today. Ngā mihi.
Thank you.